So this thing I'm taking off the seat here is a sling for guns for hunting. Last year, my wife and I were hunting, um, and we had two rifles, scoped rifles, in those slings, and one of the rifles fell out a couple times, and I didn't know it at the time, but um, actually bumped one of the scopes, was a little bit loose, and they're not super easy to use. They don't fit good with the sling. Just never. They're great for shotguns, but not good for rifles. Um, so this is kind of what this project's about. I bought a new rifle holder for the one I got's for a side by side or a UTV, um, and I'm making some straps, and in order to hang the UTV rifle carrier in in the pickup from the back of the seats. Not necessary. You could totally just, if you liked that ATV rifle carrier, you could throw in the back seat, or throw probably, and that's a Super Duty pickup. I think it's a 2001. Anyway, there's probably room behind the seat that you could fit that. It's pretty thin. I haven't tried. I'm not sure, but anyway, point is it's not necessary, but it's nice to have the rifles up off the ground, always accessible. In the one I got, you can get to the rifles from either side. So, but it's meant to hook onto like a roll cage or something like that, maybe the back of the seats for the UTV. And I want to have some straps where I can hook the rifle holder to my seats and not have them rough up my interior. So that's kind of what I'm doing here. So you saw me in the truck, kind of measuring those top straps to fit. And this is just some outdoor fabric that I happen to have. I'm going to put a little padding. That padding is off an ironing board cover. So I'm cutting the padding to fit those pieces, and then I'll sew it all together. And then, but that's kind of the project here today. My initial thought was I would sew the padding to those pieces of fabric inside out so that you wouldn't see the seams. And I think that's totally a doable thing to do, but when I tried it, I didn't give myself enough space. I could have got them turned inside out, or actually, I sewed them inside out, so I could have got them turned right side out, but it would have taken a ton of effort. And like I said, if you're going to do that, I think you just need to make it bigger than what I'm doing here. This is those pieces of fabric are the straps times two plus a half inch is what I figured. And I figured a half inch would be plenty to get those straps in and out after sewing them, and that might have been true, but the whole thing was kind of a pain. Anyway, I just used double-sided tape for basting these pieces of foam, and then rolling over the seam here, and then sewing the foam to the fabric. And I do the same thing on both sides. And then here you can see I'm sewing that piece that goes around and see the fabric inside out. And my intention was to turn that right side out. And like I said, I think I probably could have done it given enough effort, but it's at a point where was wrestling with it for a while. I just kind of got tired of the effort, and the end product seems totally fine to me. It didn't seem bad at all. And then here I am tearing that seam back apart that you just saw me put on because I was struggling with those. And of course I had sewed them both together before I checked either one of them. So I ended up having to tear the seam out of both of them, which I've been getting a lot more practice at that, so I'm getting better at tearing seams anyway, so not too terrible of a deal. Okay, so this is kind of take two with these straps, and what I ended up doing here was putting the strap inside and kind of folding it tight to the strap, and then I'm sewing it right side out. So kind of close to the edge, and then it came back and towards the center where the fabric and foam ended up, and sewed it closer there to after the step. But here, this is all I'm doing. I'm just kind of folding that over, not super tight, but there's not a lot of slop there either. And then I go back and kind of sew the middle down there. And then sewing the two ends together, and it's kind of at an angle because the seats aren't rectangles, they're kind of curved. So I just sewed them together where they met, and then kind of boxed that whole seam around where the two pieces met, and then I trimmed the excess is how I did that. And well, here's me trimming the excess here. And then I singed the ends of the threads. And then that is that rifle carrier that I was talking about. Just strap that um, on either side. There's the same thing on the passenger side. And then I got to looking there, and on a bumpy road, I figured that could be banging around a little bit. So I figured I needed to, at this point, I figured I needed probably to add a strap at the bottom. So I cut this strap out of those slings that you saw me removing at the beginning of the video. That's where this is. So I'm just cut the two straps off, and I'm sewing the buckles on here so I could actually run those straps through the frame of my seat, which you'll see here in just a little bit. But that's where these straps and buckles came from. Were from that old gunsling. I was a little bit concerned that the straps, the longer straps of the ones I pulled off, weren't going to be long enough, so I ended up cutting all the straps off of that and sewing, and I kind of chained them together, and I don't think it was necessary, but that's what I ended up doing here. But that's why the two different length straps, because that's just happened to be what was on the other gunsling. And then this is the view of the bottom of the driver's seat. So here's the shorter of the strap, and then I kind of fished the other one through it, and then up to the rifle carrier. And then I kind of cinched it down there. All those buckles are adjustable. There you go. So you can see both seats now, and that's kind of how that attaches. And then I originally hooked those straps the other top strap, and I didn't really like that, so there's another strap on the side, so I moved the strap over to that side one, and then I could cinch that down tighter to the seat, so it wouldn't be banging around as much. Um, and that ended up working out a lot better. And then I really didn't need the extra strap then, um, but it doesn't hurt to have it around. So, and that's pretty much it for this video. So thanks for watching. If you liked it, hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't already. Thanks for watching. Have a good day.